My family demanded I marry my dad's best friend's son when I eloped with my boyfriend. Instead they got furious. Now they're blowing up my phone. But guess what, I just sent them a wedding photo. I'm Zara, and I've been dating Logan for almost 2 years now. We met at our friend Andre's monthly game night, those casual hangouts where everyone brings snacks from the dollar store and spends hours playing board games. My parents are traditional, not the wealthy kind of traditional with summer homes and country club memberships, but the kind where dad works overtime at his company and mom stretches every dollar at the grocery store. They've always had this family come first mentality, which usually means whatever dad says goes. Logan and I have been keeping our relationship low-key around my family, not exactly hiding it, but not making a big deal either. He comes to some family events, brings flowers to my mom, which she aggressively puts in the kitchen instead of the living room, and tries his best to talk sports with my dad, who usually just grunts in response. So yesterday, I show up for our regular Sunday dinner. Everything seems normal. Mom's making her famous pot roast that she stretches to last the whole week, dad's watching TV, and my sister Vera is texting on the couch. Then I notice extra places set at the table. Who else is coming? I ask mom while helping her with the salad. Oh, Warren and Dexter are joining us, she says. Warren is dad's best friend since high school. They work together. I barely know his son Dexter, except that he's 27 and works with them too. The dinner starts normally enough. Warren arrives with Dexter, who's wearing a button-up shirt that still has the creases from the store. My mom keeps serving him the best pieces of meat while giving me these weird meaningful looks. Vera keeps kicking me under the table and widening her eyes like she knows something I don't. Then, between the pot roast and mom's box mixed brownies, my dad clears his throat. Zara, Warren, and I have been talking. I'm already getting that weird feeling in my stomach. You know, the one when you just know something bad is coming. Dexter here is ready to settle down. Warren jumps in, beaming like he's announcing a lottery win. And we thought, what better match than our two families coming together? I nearly choke on my water. What? It makes sense, my dad continues, not even looking at me. Warren and I are expanding the business. Dexter's going to take over his father's part eventually. You two would make a good match. I'm sitting there, fork frozen halfway to my mouth, while Dexter stares at his plate, looking about as comfortable as I feel. The brownie in my mouth turns to sawdust. I'm dating Logan, I say, stating what everyone at this table already knows. My mom waves her hand dismissively. Oh honey, that's just a young girl's fancy. We're talking about your future here. Your mother's right, dad adds. Logan's a nice enough kid, but he's not going anywhere. Dexter here has a real future in the business. I look at Dexter, who's still fascinated by his brownie. He hasn't said a word this entire time. Warren's grinning like he just solved world hunger, and my parents are looking at me expectantly. This is insane, I said. I'm not marrying Dexter. I love Logan. My dad's face does that thing where it turns slightly purple. This isn't about love, Sarah. This is about family and future. As I'm heading for the door, I hear my dad. You have until the end of the month to end things with that boy. We're announcing the engagement at Warren's birthday party. I didn't say anything else, just grabbed my crossbody bag and left. Logan was already waiting in his car around the corner. We'd planned to go to Walmart after dinner to buy some stuff for his apartment. I got in the car, hands shaking as I tried to buckle my seat belt. That was yesterday. Today, my phone's been blowing up with messages from my mom about being reasonable and thinking about the family. Vera sent me a string of WTF texts followed by warnings that dad's serious about this. Even my cousin Apilia called to ask if it was true. Logan and I stayed up late last night in his tiny studio apartment, talking about what to do. We've actually been planning to move in together when his lease is up next month. Nothing fancy, just a small 2-bedroom in the same complex where his friend Andre lives. We've been saving up, keeping it quiet. Now I'm wondering if we need to speed up those plans. I've muted most of my family on my phone, but I can see the message count growing. The only one I've responded to is Vera, who's sworn not to tell anyone that I'm staying at Logan's tonight. I don't know what to do next. I love my family, but this is crazy, right? Like, it's 2024, not 1825. Who even does arranged marriages anymore, especially over something as mundane as a business? I need advice. Logan's being supportive, but says it's my decision to make. I just know I'm not marrying Dexter, no matter what kind of future my dad thinks it'll give me. Update. My family demanded I marry my dad's best friend's son when I eloped with my boyfriend. Instead they got furious. Now they're blowing up my phone. But guess what, I just sent them a wedding photo. Part 2. It's been 2 weeks since that surreal Sunday dinner, and I'm writing this from Logan's couch at 1 a.m. Stress eating dollar store cookies and trying to process how everything spiraled so quickly. Our water heater just broke, and the landlord isn't responding to texts, so this seems like the perfect time to update you all while waiting for the kettle to heat water for a shower in the sink. The day after my last post, I waited until my parents would be at work and went home to grab some essentials. I thought I'd be in and out, but Vera was homesick from her community college classes. Between shoving clothes into my duffel bag, she filled me in on what I'd missed. Turns out, this whole situation is way messier than I thought. The truth came out in pieces. Warren's business is struggling badly. Dad's been stressed about money too, evident from the kitchen faucet that's been dripping for months. This arranged marriage wasn't just some random traditional values thing. It's about combining the businesses. They want to use my dad's contracts to keep Warren's company from going under. Real romantic, right? Things got even more complicated when I discovered my parents had already put down a non-refundable deposit on a wedding venue. They'd booked it for Warren's birthday party but apparently signed it as an engagement celebration. My mom's been showing the contract to everyone as proof that I can't back out now. The venue is some fancy converted barn that probably costs more than I make in 3 months. The next few days brought a constant stream of missed calls and emotional messages. My cousin Apilia dropped by Logan's with some winter clothes she'd borrowed and shared that my mom's been calling everyone in the family, crying about how I'm throwing my life away. The family gossip mill is working overtime. Apparently, Dexter still lives in his parents' basement and spends most of his time playing Fortnite. What a catch I'm missing out on. Work hasn't been much better. My manager coincidentally cut my hours after my mom called the store crying about her troubled daughter. I'm now scrambling to pick up shift swaps just to make rent. Logan's dealing with his own issues. His car failed inspection, and the repairs would cost more than the car's worth. Our living situation is challenging. Logan's studio apartment wasn't meant for 2 people. We're stepping over each other constantly, and his downstairs neighbor keeps complaining about extra noise to the landlord. The bathroom sink is currently holding my entire skincare routine because there's literally nowhere else to put it. Last night, I found my mascara in the kitchen cupboard next to the ramen noodles. That's the level of organization we're working with here. The financial strain is getting real. Between reduced hours at work and unexpected expenses, who knew moving would require so many random purchases? We're both feeling the squeeze. I've started selling clothes on Poshmark just to build up some savings. Logan's been picking up odd jobs on TaskRabbit, but it's barely covering the basics. We've become experts at stretching groceries. Rice and beans have become close friends. The situation hit a new low when I ran into my parents at Walmart while discount shopping. What followed was a scene straight out of a bad drama: tears in the cereal aisle, accusations about family loyalty, and vague threats about Warren selling to some big corporation. We just grabbed our essentials and left, but not before Mom noticed the generic brand items in our cart and started crying harder about how I deserve better than this life. Today's fresh hell involved discovering that my parents had apparently been saving for my wedding since I was born. Mom sent photos of the wedding fund passbook, a not so subtle reminder of what I'm throwing away. The guilt trip came with a side of childhood photos and a screenshot of current wedding venue prices. To make matters worse, our planned apartment fell through. The landlord decided to rent to his nephew instead, so we're back to square one. Logan's lease expires in 2 weeks, and finding an affordable place is proving harder than expected. His friend Andre offered us his spare room temporarily, but accepting feels like admitting defeat, especially since Andre lives in his parents' garage conversion and his mom still does his laundry. Logan's been incredibly supportive, but I can tell this is wearing on him too. Yesterday, I found him staring at ramen packages with this defeated look that broke my heart a little. The extended family's involvement is the worst part. My phone's constantly buzzing with messages from relatives I barely see, all experts on why I'm making a huge mistake. Vera keeps me updated on the home front. Apparently, Dad's now talking about writing me out of his will, which would be more threatening if there was anything to inherit. When I catch myself wavering, I look at Logan, maybe playing Wordle on his phone or doing that thing where he hums while washing dishes. And I know I can't give in. We're not some business merger assets. This is our lives, even if right now those lives involve sharing a single bath towel because we forgot to grab mine during the Great Escape. For now, we're taking it day by day, apartment hunting during lunch breaks, blocking new numbers as they pop up, and trying to figure out our next move. At least we have each other, even if our current date nights consist of comparing rental listings over microwave ramen.